What's up, Greg, and welcome back to another episode of This Tunnel Lady is kind of cringe.
Oh, no, watch out.
She's right under me, isn't she? In case you're unfamiliar like I was just a few weeks ago, the Tunnel Lady, aka Kala, aka Engineer Everything on TikTok, makes TikTok videos documenting her experience digging a massive tunnel system under her suburban house. Is this safe? I do not know. Is this legal? I also do not know. But is this really good content? I do not know. After having heard about her for a while, but never really looking into her, this is the first TikTok I saw of her. She posted it back in November of last year. So I figured I would show this to you guys so you could kind of learn about her in the same way that I learned about her. That way we can be on the same page.
I have a new problem in my suburban mind. It is not this water, but rather that I am getting out of range of the minecart. Every castle building stone has to be carried up this tunnel to the antechamber.
Okay, immediately, this project is so much more expansive than I thought. She says so many things in rapid succession that could be their own entire subplot. 1, the giant pool of water in her mind. 2, she has dug so deep that she's out of range of her minecart. Kala, how deep have you dug? She's like, it's also getting really hot down here. All of the rock is molten. It makes it really hard to dig. And 3, she says that because she's out of range of her minecart, it's making it a lot harder to get her castle building stones out of the mine.
Every castle building stone has to be carried up this tunnel.
Is there a castle now? People just call her Tunnel Lady. I thought that there was just a tunnel. She's got so much more going on than I thought. I also like that she says the giant pool of water isn't a problem. I guess that just goes to show how little I know about suburban mining, because to me, that seems like a huge problem. How do you dig deeper when it's just water? You can't dig water, can you? Needless to say, there's a lot of lore going on in his TikTok, and I need to know more. So, like Kala digging into the Earth's mantle, it's time to get to the bottom of this. This next TikTok is Kala's first ever TikTok she posted to this account, and in it she introduces a big new project that she's going to be undertaking, building a storm shelter in her basement.
I am about to embark on a new and complex project.
I like that stupid project flashes on the screen as she's describing it. She's all excited about it. It kind of makes it seem like this is an interjection from future Kala, like 2 years from now. Stupid project, you should have never started this thing. What are you doing? I'm trying to warn you via CapCut editing.
I'm planning to construct a storm shelter off the side of my basement. It's going to take a very long time.
Well, she was definitely right that it was going to take a long time. She posted this in October of 2022, and she is still digging. That being said, it is interesting to know that the original point of the tunnel was to just be a storm shelter. I feel like she's past that point. I feel like digging like 10 feet into the ground would have been enough to protect just one person from a storm. But there she is, just still going. Why do I feel like she knows something we don't? She's either preparing for a cataclysmic storm that none of us know is coming, or she has ulterior motives. She's like, the main purpose of this tunnel will be to protect me from tornadoes. Secondarily, I have been hearing a sinister voice booming from the earth, begging me to free it from its subterranean prison. So needless to say, I think this should be a pretty fun project. In all seriousness, no, I can totally understand why she would want to keep digging after she started. If she turned around now, she could be like 5 feet away from that giant diamond.
The shelter itself will be cut into this wall here. This is off the side of my bunker home office.
That is a very interesting home office setup. You know, I was wondering at first if she was planning on finishing the tunnel when she was done with it to sort of make it just an extension of her house and make it furnished and everything. After seeing her home office, I gotta say, I don't think that's likely. Kala's home office is literally the Batcave. She's getting work done in the Batcave. This tunnel's gonna be perfect for hiding from storms, tornadoes, the Riddler, he's after me. She also pans over to reveal she has a green screen in her basement.
Behind the green screen.
I am very intrigued by Kala. Who is this mysterious woman? I thought the tunnel was going to be the most interesting thing about her, but it seems like she's got a lot going on. Quite frankly, all this mystery is making me thirsty. But luckily, unlike Kala, I don't have a water problem. I have a water solution. Today's sponsor, Era. Air Up is a great way to meet your hydration goals because sometimes you're just not in the mood for water. You want a little bit more zest to it. And Air Up flavors your water via scent. You place this little scent pod on top. Right now it's deactivated, but as I pull it up like this, it becomes activated and air is able to flow through the pod into the nozzle and then into your mouth, where your mouth feels like it's tasting the flavor. In this case, I have a lime scent pod on here, but they come with a variety of flavors. So even though I'm just drinking water with no chemicals added or nothing, I feel like I'm drinking something that's lime flavored. One of the best parts of Air Up is that you're getting all the fun of having flavored water without any of the downsides, like added sugar or sweeteners or chemicals. It's just straight up water and smell. I like sipping from my Air Up while I'm writing videos, doing work, even filming, as you can see. That extra bit of flavor just puts a little bit of pep in my step. And trust me, if you've seen the way I step before, you know that it's sad and it needs some pep. So if you want to try out this revolutionary hydration technology for yourself, head on over to the link in the description. Get yourself an Air Up. Get yourself a bunch of fun flavors. Thanks to Air Up for sponsoring this video. Thank you to you guys for checking out Air Up. Just 6 days after posting the original TikTok, she posts this video where she goes over the litany of problems she has already run into.
We're running into some problems that have put us into a dead halt. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of water seepage. It's not a blocker, but it is irritating.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you, Kala, but it's gonna get a lot worse. If you think that amount of water is irritating, you're gonna be pissed in like a year when you have a literal well in the middle of your mind.
We have run out of space for excavated rock and have to get the elevator working now.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna need to figure out a way to get the rock out of there, because otherwise it's not mining. You're just moving around rocks. You can't just be like, all right guys, I finished the tunnel system. It's actually the exact size that my basement used to be, but I moved all of the rock into the basement, so now I don't have a basement anymore. I just have a basement-sized tunnel, which sucks because that's where all my bat gear was, and the penguin actually is after me right now.
The power cord has started smoking and sparking. The biggest problem is that the jackhammer has stopped working.
Okay, great. Perfect. Excellent update. You're like 2 feet into the tunnel and every single part of the operation is already going wrong. Even things that aren't mining related are going wrong. That extension cord? Not a mining issue. That did not require any prior excavation knowledge. You just need a new extension cord. That kind of just feels like her being like, everything is going wrong. Gravel is piling up. The jackhammer is smoking. My blender stopped working, so I can't even make milkshakes anymore. But hey, I guess that's just what happens when you commit to tunneling into the earth. No more milkshakes. Ever again. Yeah, it is really bad. You're digging a hole under your house. You cannot afford to cut corners. So this is a structure she was building as sort of an elevator to get rocks out of her basement. She's building like a mining elevator, and I guess while she was building it, it collapsed. I gotta say, at this point, I am pretty concerned about the success of her project. She's still just a few days in, and like, I don't know if she's done anything right yet. She does seem pretty nonchalant about it though, you know? If her entire tunnel collapses and her house falls into the underworld, I think she'll take it in stride. I gotta say, I knew that digging a tunnel would be like a big undertaking, but it wasn't until I started watching these videos where I started to realize all of the logistics that go into it. There's a lot that can go wrong. In this video, she takes a Geiger counter into her tunnel and realizes that there's like twice as much radiation as there was in the rest of her house.
Nuclear radiation readings so high in the storm shelter excavation. Every time I measure it, the counts per minute are more than double what they are upstairs.
Kala, come on. You gotta figure that out. To be fair, I don't know why the radiation would be higher underground than it would be in the rest of her house. But I'm not in the mine. It's not my mine. You gotta figure that out, dude. Yeah, the top comment is radon ? That's not good. The next video, she's doing the same thing with a Ouija board. Hey guys, does anyone know why every time I take the Ouija board into the tunnel, it spells out, I must consume the souls of the innocent? It doesn't do that anywhere else in my house.
One of the reasons for extending my tunnel system is to harvest a layer of building stone. So far, I only found one good layer, about a foot thick. It is fractured in ready-made rectangular prisms.
It's crazy. I'm finding all of these perfect building blocks. They're rectangular. They look great. They're gonna fit right in my neighborhood because they're actually already the same color as my neighbor's foundation.
Whoa.
Hey, excuse me. You can't be in here.
Oh my god, TV, couch, foosball table.
This can only mean one thing. Yeah, you dug into my basement. I just found a naturally occurring basement mine. What? All this stuff is gonna be perfect for my castle. Whoa, no, this is my stuff, dude. Hey, who the fuck are you? Are you the Riddler? No. Can you get out of my house? His first riddle. Oh, you dastardly scoundrel. Okay, I'm not a scoundrel. You're no match for my bat gun. Oh, that's just a normal gun. Now, despite having seemingly no experience building a tunnel at the beginning of this video, she is learning at a rapid rate. Just a few months into this project, she posts this video sort of boasting about her engineering skills.
I'm in a tunnel with 5,000 pounds of wet concrete over my head, and the only thing separating me from becoming a pancake is my own engineering.
Extremely impressive. I, for one, could never. I get claustrophobic if my clothes are too tight. At this point, it seems like some of the things going wrong start to calm down. She starts learning super fast. Lots of new skills. She starts posting videos about managing the water problem in her tunnel, learning electrical so she can have power down in her mine. And mind you, while all of this being self-taught is extremely impressive, it also kind of makes it terrifying to watch. In one of her videos where she's doing the electrical of the tunnel, she describes electricity as magic.
Before this project, I had very little experience with electrical. In fact, I used to consider it magic, which it basically kind of is.
You should definitely not consider it magic anymore. You should definitely consider it science at this point. I also like that she added in a sound like she's casting a spell.
It kind of is.
Yeah, so I learned all this electrical stuff. It's basically magic. You're cool to me, says Chris. You're amazing, says Jen. Impressed with you, says Sylvan Energy Solutions. You would be impressed, Sylvan Energy Solutions. You sound like an electrical company, but then you have like a magical owl as your profile picture. I'm impressed that you figured out electricity is magic. Takes most people a long time to figure that out. Now, it's not all fun and games on Kala's account. While she is getting a lot of positive, supportive comments, at some point, the tide began to shift a little bit, and people began to wonder if she was really qualified to be undertaking such a project. I think it happened somewhere around a year or so into it when she did this year in review and showed off everything that she's done in the tunnel and learned so far.
It's just been over a year since I started.
Oh my god. She has learned a lot. She learned to teleport. Maybe she did learn magic in there. She's like, as I tunnel closer and closer to the Dark Lord, he is anointing me with more and more powers. Teleportation has made things much more convenient in the tunnel. Convenient and scary, because sometimes I'm not in complete control of it, and I just teleport to parts of the earth that I have not tunneled to yet.
In August of 22, I cut an opening off the side of the sub-basement and started to carve into the solid rock. Fabricated an elevator to lift material. I used hundreds of concrete blocks and yards of hand-mixed concrete.
She's learned a lot doing this. My only question is, has she learned why she's doing this yet? I feel like that would be valuable insight to have, maybe, because it's definitely not a storm shelter anymore. Are we allowed to build tunnels? I've always felt like my home is missing a dangerous mine shaft. The city inspector watching this right now. And it turns out that comment was kind of onto something, because eventually Kala did get shut down by the city, as detailed in this article. How Tunnel Girl's DIY storm shelter took over TikTok, then people turned against her. In 2022, a TikToker began documenting an elaborate underground construction in her home. As her videos garnered traction, people began questioning the safety and ethics of her project. Okay, safety I understand. I could see how people would think this isn't safe. Ethics? She like bringing kids into the mine or something? I guess ethical concerns could boil down to the fact that, you know, she could be like digging a giant sinkhole under her neighborhood, and that could affect her neighbors' houses as well. That's pretty fair. You know, I would be concerned if I found out one of my neighbors was like hollowing out the ground beneath my house. So that could be the ethical concern. It could also be like releasing horrors from the earth beyond our comprehension. One of those two, I guess. What began as a characteristically quirky TikTok anecdote of a person on a curious home renovation style mission has become a messy source of debate, speculation, and even political contention. Political contention? Did I miss something? What happened? Experts are worried as the tunnel appears to be headed straight for the White House. And she has a gun. Is she planning to hop out of the floorboards of the White House and assassinate the president? Or does she have a map to treasure? Kala has refused to comment. Over time, her project became increasingly ambitious. By August 2023, Kala referred to her project as an underground tunnel tunnel system. See, that's a big leap. That makes me think she's not being totally honest with her motives here, because that's quite the escalation from the storm shelter she was building originally. I swear, man, these influencers, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. The next line of the article is like, by January of 2024, Kala referred to her project as a subterranean metropolis. What she's involved in isn't new. It's known as hobby tunneling, a passion for underground digging typically associated with men. Ah, yes, the masculine urge to dig. Have you ever noticed all men are born with this innate desire to burrow into the earth and hide from God? Over the past year, viewers have questioned whether Kala is qualified to undertake the complex construction work depicted in the videos. She has repeatedly acknowledged that she has no formal training, but believes that she can teach herself the necessary skills to perform the work safely. In one comment under a July video, she clarified that she is an engineer, as her TikTok handle suggests, but a computer engineer, not a civil or structural one as people presume. Yeah, no, I could see why people would have gotten that twisted. I'm not saying that she intentionally tricked people. In fact, I think it was probably an honest mistake. She is an engineer. But I could totally understand why people would be shocked to find out that the woman hauling thousands of tons of rock out of her basement is in fact not that kind of engineer. In November, Kala was interviewed by NBC News clarifying that the project wasn't a doomsday bunker. Yeah, well, that doesn't really clarify anything, because like if it was a doomsday bunker, that would have clarified what it is, but now I'm just more, like that's just more confusing now. I'm not really a prepper or concerned about that kind of thing at all, but I just thought it would be neat to have, like a little protective shelter area, she told the outlet. And so I started working on that, and also it's a challenge, and I live for challenges. It keeps me preoccupied and keeps me entertained. Okay, well, there's the answer we were all looking for, I guess. She just likes it. She's having fun. And at the end of the day, isn't that all that matters? In late December, videos expressing concern about the impact Kala's project was having on her neighbors began to circulate. Oh, okay, no, that wasn't all that matters. Then on December 31st, Kala responded to rumors that her project was being shut down with a video explaining that local city officials had halted it.
So they did give me a stop work order and are requiring an immediate evaluation by a professional engineer. Fortunately, contrary to few rumors here, it is constructed entirely below the slab of my house.
Wait, how is it entirely under the slab of your house?
It is constructed entirely below the slab of my house.
Didn't you start at the edge of your basement and then dig like 30 feet in one direction? Maybe I just don't understand the shape of her house, but I feel like she's definitely in her neighbor's yard at this point. Also, wouldn't making the tunnel system completely under the slab of her house actually be super dangerous? Because that's the dirt that your house is sitting on. So the project is halted. Kala is waiting to get her tunnel system approved, and that's pretty much the whole story right now. Or is it? While watching through all of her videos, I uncovered a bit of a strange subplot that not enough people are talking about. Bedroom remodeling. Previous occupants considered this room haunted and reported frequent creepy occurrences and ghostly encounters. I'm planning on reimagining the room and renovating the walls/carpet. The bulkhead needs to be fixed and the shoddy trim replaced. I love the curtains. Okay, hold up. You just listed a bunch of things wrong with this room, but one of them seems way more important than the others. Tell us about the haunted room. Why is it haunted? What is the ghost? You, Kala, would not make a very good realtor. Okay, this is the primary bedroom. This window has a great view. There's plenty of space in here. Little goblin there. All carpet, floors, of course. Sorry, goblin?
I forgive you.
No, I wasn't apologizing to you.
Oh.
Why is there a goblin? Okay, sure, there is a goblin. But the rest of the house is really nice, you know, when he's not stinking up the place. Yeah, sure, it's a great house, but I'm supposed to sleep in here. Is that little freak gonna watch me sleep every night? I didn't want a goblin. Oh my God, goblin this, goblin that. Dude, if you love the goblin so much, why don't you just fuck him already? I don't love the goblin.
Be kind with your words, please.
I just want a normal house. Nice windows, nice floors, no goblin. Well, if there's no goblin in the tunnel, why don't you just sleep down there? There's a tunnel? Yeah, under the whole house. It's huge. You're gonna love it. And don't worry, it's only directly under this house. Wait, if there's a giant hole directly under this house, wouldn't that mean... Uh-oh!
I do not fear death because I have no reason to live.
Oh, that's really sad. The wall hangings were left behind by the last occupant who was twice admitted to a psychiatric hospital for insanity? What? So am I the only one thinking this? This is why she's digging the tunnel, to get away from the ghost. I knew there must be a better reason, and this is it. She's got a ghost in her house. But unfortunately, Kala, I do have to inform you that ghosts can hunt the ground under your house too. They own the ground rights all the way to the core of the earth, actually, unfortunately. And the air rights too. So don't try building a castle over your house either. You won't be safe there. The first time I saw this video, I was stunned. I was like, how were you only talking about this sometimes? But don't worry, she does have another video about the room where she goes into more detail because so many people asked about it.
Yes, this room has a dark past, including haunting and madness. I rented it to several friends over the years, and they reported voices, hallucinations, and negative energy.
Okay, did you tell them that you were actively tunneling underneath them? Because I feel like that could explain at least one of those things. They reported hearing voices, banging, jackhammer sounds, creepers hissing, zombies moaning.
I am currently renovating the room slowly as a side project, hoping to freshen it up for a brighter future.
Okay, so if two of your friends have been driven to insanity by the room,
They reported voices, hallucinations.
I don't think that renovating it is gonna help. I mean, by all means, go for it. I support the renovation. There's no reason the room needs to also look insanely haunted just because there's a ghost there. Turn it into like a nice little zen oasis that just happens to torment the souls of those in it. Maybe those two things will cancel each other out and it'll just feel like a normal room. You know what would be a better use for all that castle rock, actually, that you've been finding in the tunnel? Just fill in that room. Fill the whole thing up with dirt. Just be like, we don't have that room anymore. Also, Kala, it sounds like you've had several friends rent this room from you.
I rented it to several friends over the years.
Why do you keep renting it to people if you know it ruins their lives? You, Kala, would not make a very good realtor.
The only thing left behind is this drawing of a tree that she always kept with her. On the reverse side, there is a photo of a motivational writer who she had a deep parasocial relationship with.
It just feels like you're kind of throwing her under the bus for that one. Doesn't seem like that has anything to do with the ghost.
The room is the second most haunted place in the house.
Second? Okay, this is wild. Right? Who would have thought that the amateur mining operation this woman had going on in her basement was actually not the most interesting thing about her? But I am so hooked. Please tell us about the other room.
My house has two haunted areas. One is this troubled bedroom, and the second is this normal-looking closet.
I like that she says normal-looking closet as the camera creeps in toward a terrifying closet with horror music swelling. Ah, yes, totally normal-looking closet, the kind every house in the 1800s has.
Oddly, I was not able to view the bedroom with that closet before buying the house, and it was still locked during the home inspection.
Damn, that's really weird. Who was the realtor? You?
I felt some suspicion, but after closing, everything seemed fine.
Wait, what happened there? Did she just trip in the middle of the take and continue on like nothing happened?
Closing, everything seemed
This is the most interesting person in the world.
I was upstairs cooking with a few roommates, and we heard a muffled pounding sound from downstairs. But the room was empty. A moment of silence was broken by renewed racket from inside the closet.
Okay, well, it's time to sell the house. I think you have to sell the house. I don't know how many rooms your house has, but if 2 of them are uninhabitable due to ghosts, you have to move. If 2 of the rooms in your house turn you into a husk of a human being, fill them with rocks. On a serious note, Kala, if you are watching this, buy a carbon monoxide detector if you don't have one already. Carbon monoxide poisoning can do this type of thing to people and make them think that they are going insane, so maybe look into that. How crazy would it be if she bought a carbon monoxide detector and found a leak and she fixed it, and like the second the carbon monoxide was gone, she was like, why the fuck is there a tunnel in my house? All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and you're new here, make sure you subscribe and turn on my notifications to join Greg. Greg is what I call my family here on YouTube. We're a family, we're an army, we're a collective. So go ahead and subscribe and turn on my notifications to join Greg. I'll see you guys next time with a very interesting video. Bye-bye.